Now we're going to take a look at how to navigate around the 3D view. It's all in the wrist, guys. It's all in the wrist. I'm kidding. All right, we're going to use 3 different mouse buttons to navigate around our scene. The first one is how to tumble around Arsen now again for doing 3D. I recommend you have a 3-button mouse, because without the button mouse, it's not as easy and not as useful doing 3D without 3-blind mouse, 3-1 mouse, and a keyboard with a numpad. However, I'll show you how to do it if you do not have those. So to tumble around your 3D view, middle mouse button will tumble around the 3D viewport. Now, if you don't have a 3-1 mouse or you want to do it a different way, you could tumble around by left-click and dragging in this gizmo area right here. Check that out. Now, of course, you might get a little bit dizzy at first, but as you practice tumbling around your Blender scene, you will get more experience and be able to tumble around like a tumble pro. All right, so that's tumbling. Now, how to zoom in and out for that is a mouse wheel. If we scroll it up or down, we can zoom out. So we are a tiny little speck or a really big cube. Now, to do this with a different method, we could go right here to the magnifying glass, and if we left-click and then drag our mouse up and down, we could zoom in and out. Sweet. Personally, I never use these, but this is just another option for you if you're crazy enough to want to use these instead of just the mouse wheel. But hey, totally fine. All right, the next one we're going to be using is how to pan around or how to move from side to side and up and down. If we hit Shift middle mouse button, it will move left, right and up and down, or we go left. Click and drag this little hand right here, and the hand. Whoa, that was unexpected. I don't know what happened there. All right, everything just disappeared. All right, cool. So the hand will move it up and down and left and right. And that is how you rotate or tumble. Zoom in and out or pan around. Now let's take a look at a couple more navigation techniques, because I want to equip you so that you are ready for this adventure on your numpad. Again, it's good if you have a numpad. If you do not have a numpad, you could go to Edit Preferences, and right here under Input, you could select Emulate Numpad. And in some of your numpad numbers, you'll use the numbers, the numerical keys at the top of your keyboard. And right here, you can also emulate 3-button mouse so that instead of using the middle mouse button, you can use left-click and Alt-Control and Shift in different manners so that you could tumble, pan, and rotate around your scene. But like I said, get yourself 3-button mouse and make sure you have a numpad on your keyboard, please. It will be so much easier. All right. So the next thing I want to show you how to snap to certain views. You can see right here we have the cube selected. And when in user perspective is the view that we're in. It's basically a perspective view from the user's point of view, which is how we're looking at it right now. All right. I don't think I can explain that any further. Next, how to go into front side or back view. If you hit 1 on your numpad, you could see it will go into front view. If we hit 3, it will go into to the right side. And if we had 7, it will go into top. And now, if we hold down Control and 1, 3, or 7, it will go to the opposite. So we'll go to the left, back, and bottom, and now we can navigate anywhere on our cube. Pretty cool. Now another thing you'll notice is if I hit 1, it then goes into front. Orthographic view is basically the opposite of perspective. With perspective, you have perspective or depth to your scene. It looks 3-dimensional with orthographic. It basically compresses everything and you only have 2 dimensions. So everything is flattened out to get when you hit 1, 3, or 7 on the numpad, it automatically gets you into orthographic. If you rotate, you will see it will get you out, and you are now into in perspective view, or if you want to go in front view with numpad, you could then hit 5 on the numpad, and it will toggle between perspective and orthographic. Pretty sweet. All right, so that is basically how you navigate around your 3. Seen another way you could do it, going to the front, back, and side axes or views is hitting the X, Z, or Y keys right here or there, opposite counterparts, which are these little tiny circles which will go to the opposite of the Y-axis. As you can see, the Y-axis is this one right here. If we hit 1 on our keyboard, we are now along the y-axis. So if we hit Y right here, since this is the front of you right now, if we're on the y-axis like that, so if we click right here, it will go to the back. And if we click right here, it will go to the front. So right now, if we click that, you can see it goes the orthographic. And if we had clicked on the opposite one, this one right here, it will go to the back side of it. Pretty sweet. So many different ways to manipulate. Of course, you could tumble round here or select a specific axis. Again, for me personally, I never use these. I never have really. I always use 1, 3, and 7 and middle mouse button, middle mouse click, and shift, and mouse wheel up and down. Now, one last thing quickly. If you go into any of you by hitting 1 on the numpad, or 3 or 7, you could then hit 4, 6, 2, and 8 to move in increments around your view. Pretty sweet. All right. Now you're probably asking, what the heck is that thing over there, ladies and gentlemen? That right there is the camera. We could go ahead and select it by left-clicking it. And when you select something, you could see it has an orange or yellowish contour around it. Now with the camera to go into camera, view 0 on the numpad, and boom, we are now. And camera view lights, camera, action. Yep, and this is the view where you will see your renders or your animations from Super Cool. All right, so now that we got navigating around in Blender, we're going to head on over to the next tutorial, which is going to be manipulating objects so that we could start to move stuff in our 3D scene. And that's where the fun starts. Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't even gotten into the good stuff. So I'll see you in the next video chat for now. Over!